So in the chat here, guys, I'm going to ask a question. Where'd my thing go here? Where did my chat go? Okay, there's my chat. Okay, so Brendan and I have always taught you guys that volume is extremely important, right? Give me a 1 if you remember that, and if you understand volume is very, very important, right? Okay, perfect. So we built, in the back office, we built a ton of indicators, right? And we've laid out our indicators, and we have ways to analyze our indicators. But one of the things that our indicators taught us is really, and is teaching us, is really how to find the best entry points. So this is all volume down here, different types of volume. And we could just say high volume, low volume, the higher the spikes, the higher the volume. The crypto market is right now an extremely strong seller's market, meaning that the sellers are in control. Give me a 2 if you kind of understand that, or kind of even thought that maybe, right? Because we've got so much down pressure. The market moves down much easier than it moves up, and it has a hard time moving up sometimes, right? So if you wanted the market to move up and you knew that it was a strong seller's market, let's see who can answer this question. What might you want to see if you knew that it was a strong seller's market? See if anybody can answer that question. Buyers, okay. What else? Orders, volume, up volume, low volume. Mr. Steve. Yeah. Really what Digi is teaching us and has taught us, this let's just say this gold band here is the sellers, right? When the seller volume goes to almost 0, meaning the sellers have stepped out of the market, we now have room to go up. Now there's other things, and I won't go into this because these are proprietary stuff that we're doing, but there's other stuff here that's important for us to see. But basically, on the first step is when sellers leave the market, meaning they leave the front door open, and we're around basically a swing point. We're finding that those trades have a high percentage of success, and that we get that. Now, our tools, up until last night, have only been able to take advantage of how do I want to say this? Only take advantage of a portion of understanding this. This week we developed a tool that really allows us to understand the very low point. Right now we can only understand a region of this with Digi. But as we go through this week and next week, we're going to be able to identify these points extremely well with the new tools that Abbas and them actually got programmed or done last night. So right now we're identifying the entries really well in our new trade system, but over the next 2 weeks, I think they're going to be even identified even better, okay? So that we're going to get better entries and better targets at these points. So if we want to see the sellers leave the market when we get out. Now, Brendan is the one that noticed this when I sent him the chart. When we have both, and the top one here would be buyers, both buyers and sellers at extremely high volumes. These are created at the peaks and provide very good opportunity for our exits, right? So when we see these, and if we see things happen and we're in a trade, and people ask, well, why is Digi getting out and then back in? So sometimes Digi will get faked out, or sometimes it won't, right? But if it gets into a trade and then the volume starts setting up against what it looked like was initially a move, it'll get out of that trade, right? It'll get out and go on to the next trade. So the reason that Digi sometimes will get out, and then a few minutes later or something, the trade will reset back up at about the same level, Digi will get back in. So Digi will get very protective of an account, and it will actually try to follow that volume. And instead of having volume come in against a trade and holding on to that trade and saying, well, let's just ride this thing out, you know, we're tough. No, Digi goes, okay, you guys want to go maybe the other way? I'll step out of the way for a little while, watch what you guys are doing. If you guys go down, I'll get in at a deeper place. If you guys decide to change your mind and go back up, well, I'll get back in. I have no problem with that. I'll take a small fee against the exchange and protect my account, and then try to find a better move. So Digi will get better at a couple things, I think, over the next week. It'll get better at finding the bottoms. And instead of setting just a standard stop like we do now, right now we have targeted stops and trail stops and stuff, which are getting us out at different percentage levels. Within the next 2 weeks, I think, we'll be able to identify the tops of the moves. So we have been focused all this time, guys, specifically on entries. Entry to me is everything, and then the second thing that's that's everything is the exit. But the first thing you got to get right is the entry. And we have been focused totally on entry. So now we're going to begin to add our focus to the exits, which, you know, we began to look at here. So now over the next few weeks, we'll begin to work on this, and I think we'll see more and more profit and better exits as we identify these areas. So that's where Digi is right now. Any questions on that before we go on to actually getting this thing turned on? All right. Well, let's do this, guys. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go through and we're going to talk about coins and stuff, okay? So the trade that we're doing right now is the barrier percentile trade is what we've focused on and perfected. And basically, the percentile trade is an algorithm that almost works like an AI, where it understands these points and assigns percentiles to them, and then trades those percentiles on a proprietary algorithm. Okay, so instead of like most trading systems, they'll pick a finite number or a finite barrier and say, okay, if I hit this number in volume or whatever, let's take the trade. Well, Digi doesn't do that. It did that initially in its infancy as it was starting to trade. But now what it does is it really understands percentiles or movements within the market, and then within the algorithm, it understands what that percentile or that movement means, and then it takes those trades, right? So instead of trading just a hard number, it's getting very, very educated in how it trades. So when we look at, and now I'm going to go through some coins, guys, because this is important for you guys, because you're going to be able to trade more coins now. And so I want you to understand those coins, okay? When I'm going to start off with Zen, Z-E-N here, and this is on the percentile trade, and I'm going to do a search here in our master percentile account. And we have over, you know, the last few weeks, Zen hasn't done a lot of trades, okay? But the trades that it's doing, it's making pretty good profit, okay? So when you look at setting up the percentile trade, Zen will be available to you, and you can look at using Zen if you want to use it. So what I want you guys to do now is start making notes, okay? This is your note time. And, you know, I'm going to go through each one of these, and then you're going to figure out which ones you want to trade, right? So I'm going to show you the results on multiple coins. Okay, everybody with me, give me a 1. Okay, so this is the results on Zen, okay, last week. Okay, so now let's look at, because there's some in here that aren't so good.
So
Okay?
Doug, let me be the wet blanket for a second, though. You guys, everybody has to acknowledge that these are all hypothetical test results, right? We got, and we're gonna have to say that a lot, because you got to realize we can't promise, you know, any type of performance, and that, you know, tomorrow it could all change. So
It could all go to heck.
right. These are all past results, and we, you know, obviously it's our goal and our hope that we're doing our best job to make it, you know, as consistent as possible. But there is a risk.
Yeah, past results are no guarantee of future income, guys, or future results. So they're just a guideline, right? That's all it is. And thank you, buddy. That's why Brendan makes the big bucks. Okay, here we go. So this is Quantum, and this is the results that we've had with Quantum, okay? And some of these are really small, okay? This was what a boss was testing with. This will change to hopefully be bigger numbers. You shouldn't see these kind, unless the market has gone really against Digi, and Digi gets into preservation or aggressive account preservation control, and then we'll see these kind of exits, guys. So it just depends on what state Digi thinks it's in. If it hit the market and it went, you know, 0.5% below its entry, Digi's okay with that, right? When it goes 2% or 2.5% below its entry, Digi is not okay with that, okay? Digi gets into a whole different mindset when the market goes deeper than its entry, and it goes into an account preservation type mode, where it's going to try to get out with some profit, protect the account, and go on to the next trade. And it'll get better as the new tool that we developed last night. I think it'll get better at that, but that's going to take another couple of weeks, right? So if you see, people are always asking, well, why did it get out here? Why did it do this? Digi sees the market different than you and I do. Digi reads volume and volume only. And if it thinks that volume is shifting against it, then it's going to protect the account. Now, we as manual traders may go, okay, well, I don't care. I'm going to write it out. And sometimes it'll be a good thing for us, and sometimes it'll be a bad thing for us. But Digi is about consistency, right? It's not about making the big hit sometimes and having a big loss and all these swings. It's really about trying to take a chunk out of the market consistently and protect the account as much as it can, okay? So that's why Digi does what Digi does, right? So this is Quantum, okay? And this is what the percentile trade has done in Quantum over the last week or so, okay? So you can see Quantum there. All right, so that's Quantum. Taking your notes, everybody, okay? So now let's go to XLM, okay, and search. And different coins have different movements, and I don't know, again, I don't know what the new setup or new tool that we developed last night is going to do for all of these coins, but we'll, as we track those coins, and I'll tell you where we're tracking them, why you guys are going to do what you're going to do. As we track those coins, if our results begin to change, we'll let you guys know, okay? But this is quantum, right? So quantum hasn't done so well, right? It's had some of the bigger losses. And and that's because quantum is having, different down pressure. Now, a couple of these losses are in the box trigger here, which we're not trading yet. We're still working on. And a lot of the technology and trade theory that we're using around the percentile trade will be adapted to the box trigger ultimately and make hopefully the box trigger a better tool, but it's not there yet, okay? So quantum hasn't done as well, right? Had some pretty good losses in quantum. In fact, it's probably negative if I look at this pretty much. So quantum has been a struggler with, not quantum, excuse me, XLM. XLM. Quantum is fine. XLM has been a struggler here. So, all right. So let's go down to XEM, all right? $31 sold. So here's XEM. Couple of losers that were box triggers down here, okay? These were box triggers. Everything else is percentile. So again, some small trades here, but you can look at XLM and or XEM. Got to keep my acronyms straight here. XEM, and decide if that is something that's interesting to you. Okay. Excuse me 1 second. How's everybody doing with your notes? Doing okay? All right. Is this interesting for you guys? Seeing results by coin? Okay, perfect. I think it'll help you decide which coins you may want to look at. Okay. XRP. Let's have a look at XRP. Not a whole lot in XRP here. And XRP has really been struggling, okay? So not a lot in XRP. I have XRP in my own account. I haven't been too happy with XRP lately. So, but you can make your own decisions on XRP. ETC, search that. 17 sold, and this is ETC. Okay. So again, some small ones, and Boss had a 0.5% target set on some trades. We were taking a bunch of trades. So we were setting a 0.5%, a 1%, and a 2%, and an unlimited. And so the unlimited hasn't been working the way we want yet because, again, we haven't been able to define the top of that market yet. But we'll define the top of that market, and I think our bigger targets, like I said, if we do everything correctly, I believe will begin to give us better results. So we'll see how that works out. NEO here, NEO, okay. 28 trades sold in NEO, and this is NEO. Okay, these are all percentile here, and these are all percentile here. Okay. All right, that's NEO. Always think of the matrix. Don't know. Okay. POE. POE, I'm really mixed personally on POE. It's like Incash, right? It has kind of a different movement, right? So it, I don't know how much volume it really has. So I don't know over the long run how many of us can really trade POE. It may go up over time, but I think it has. I don't think I know it has gaps in volume. It has gaps in the market. So, excuse me. So I'm a little bit gun shy of POE just personally, but you know, here are the results. So we got some zeros, got one negative here, a couple nice positives. So it's really mixed to me on NEO. Again, so if we trade NEO, in fact, these two down here, the two big ones are box triggers down here. So they don't, in fact, this loss is a box trigger too. So really from this 133 up is percentile. You know, we won't know until we really get into it with a lot of traders whether it can really handle the volume or not. So you may really want to watch, if you do trade POE, you may really want to watch your results in POE, because it could end up being really mixed, guys. Really, like I said, I think the jury's out on POE still. So trade with caution with everything, but definitely watch POE, okay? EOS, if you trade POE. All right, 20 sold trades in EOS. Had a couple of negatives here, all at the same price there. So he was setting up different targets here. Took a 3 hit there. Took a 1 hit down here. But you know, it has some good results, you know, so far. And I think these, again, I think these will get better with the new system. I think these were really, when I analyzed these trades, I really was not happy with the entry on all 4 of these here. I think they were not what we want to see. So, okay, so hopefully that'll get better. So that's EOS. Okay. Tron, TRX. $26 sold in Tron. And this is, let's see, this is all percentile here on Tron. Had a good morning on Tron, right? I manually sold these, testing the manual sell. So I sold these just right before this thing went up, testing a couple of things. So these also would have been in the 2+ percentile if I hadn't done that testing. But this is Tron. And these two down here are box triggers down here. So those are the box triggers. And so everything else is percentile. Okay. And really not doing in cash right now. Again, we can look at in cash. I think in cash is a little bit like POE. I get it has really mixed volume, so I get a little concerned about it. You can see we got some zeros, but it's had some nice returns also, all in the box trigger there. And let's check this page. This is all, not box trigger, excuse me, percentile. So it's been performing, guys. Again, not real sure on the volume, and not really sure on, you know, how many people can really trade it and with its current volume or not. So that's in cash. Okay, that is the coins. Any questions on coins, guys, that before we go on to the next part?
All right, I'm looking in the Q&A. Don't see.
How was that? Was that helpful to everybody?
Very helpful.
No, you're doing great.
So,
yeah, so anyway.
Doing okay, huh?
Below that number, so.
I don't know who that is. So Paul says, I mean, what are the settings on the parent trade for Zen or Quantum? I assume you're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
right.
it's they're set for right now just for well, we'll go through that.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And then the other question is, I'm sure will be answered later, which is when Will new members be able to see the public site? You can answer that later, Doug. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked it. Udo says, when can we access all those coins?
Yeah, we'll you'll be able to access those coins now. So you'll be able to we'll be setting up all of those coins for you guys and the percentile for you guys to trade.
Yeah, so that's today, Richard. So we're good. Hang in there.
Yeah, so I'm going to send what I got to do at the end of this call, just so that you guys know, is I got to send a list to the programmers. They're waiting at 9 o'clock this morning for me to send them the list, and they will go in and then code everybody in on that list to the percentile trade. So that'll be our next step this morning.
Excellent. Looks like that's it for questions right now.
Okay. All right. So here's before we get into, I don't know if I can do this. No, I better not do that. Okay. I may talk myself into it again here in a minute. I don't know. Oh, I love giving you guys gifts. Okay. So here's how it works, guys. Okay. So, Yanni Cash. Let's see. We need to promote Mr. Yanni Cash here. All right. Okay. So when you go into your back office, after I send the list to the programmers, guys, you will have the barrier percentile right here, okay? So you got the barrier trade and the barrier percentile. When you do the levels, please leave it on level 1. We are testing the percentile trade on levels 2 through 5 with different settings. And sometimes we just, like level 4, I have this really arbitrary setting that I want to just see what happens at a certain level on an entry. It has no chance at all, I believe, for success at this point, but it's going to show me what's happening at a certain level. So these are really test levels, okay? If you select any of these other levels, you may have, like level 2, you may have a good result for a little while, but we could go in and change something in level 2 because it is our testing level, and it could totally blow up your account, okay? You could be going, oh my God, level 2 is the best thing since sliced bread, and then wake up one morning and go, oh my gosh, what happened to level 2, right? It just, what? Yeah. But it's because we're testing, okay? So everybody understands that the levels below level 1 for right now are for testing. Ultimately, levels below level 1 will be different algorithms that will allow for, different, hang on, my son's calling, that will allow for, different types of trading, right? But right now we're using all the levels below level 1 for testing, okay? So, please be careful. Try to stick with level 1, all right? So when we set up the barrier percentile, you can, you add your coins. You come over here, you can add the coins that we talked about today. They're all here, okay? And like if I wanted to do quantum now, I can select quantum, click on this, go save, okay? And go back here to my buy orders, add Digi order for automatic. I can go now here and select quantum, okay? Because I like quantum. I can set my percentile, select my mode now. Until Monday, guys, okay, this is the other thing. Until Monday, please switch over to test, because I want you to test it for a couple of days, and then the programmers will do some things Sunday night going into Monday. Then you can switch it back over to live on the percentile. You can go back and forth, guys, between live and test in your live account. So when you set up this, go over here, click on test, then set up the percentile trade, and then trade it till probably Monday morning or so. I'll put a deal in the group, and you can turn on live. You'll just be better protected that way through the weekend because we did some things last night, and I want to make sure those things don't cause any hiccups for you guys. So if you would just do it in test mode until Monday, that would be great, okay? So everybody with me on that? Give me a 1 if you with me on that. Yeah, we made some we're making some pretty big changes in the back end trying to make things faster. So sometimes when we do that, and I don't like making them on Boss's Friday going into the weekend because it's hard for me to get the programmers back on, but we're trying to push so hard. I didn't want to hold off on the changes until Monday, so we made some changes last night, and I, just want, guys, I'm always cautious. if you guys know anything about me, I'm cautious, right? Give me a 2 if you know that, right? I try to be very cautious with you guys, and I try to, take care of you as best I can. It's not a perfect world, but, if we know something could be a problem, then, we need to watch out for that. Okay, so real-time test. When you go back to live, then you would change this to real-time live. So you can select your stop, okay? Aggressive follow up stop is, it'll get you out quicker in the market. So the way that the stop is working now is that there's some hard code targets set at 1% and 2%, and then it'll start aggressively following the market once it hits those targets. You can set your own custom stop, or you could use the big wall stop, okay? So the big wall stop is also designed to move after a certain range, guys. And the way that it works, and I'll just explain it to you real quick. I think it's important for you guys to understand some of this. If we had selected the big wall stop, and we had gotten into this in-cash trade before it started moving up, and we were already in profit or above our entry, a certain percentage of the algorithm is looking for, what it would do is in a certain level below the market. So this is the current market right here, right? This is the current market where this red box is. The big wall stop looks at a range here and says, okay, where's the biggest barrier? And I'm going to hide behind that barrier. So in this case, this 57.55 million is the biggest barrier. So the big wall stop is going to move itself to this 50 right behind this big wall, okay? And so the theory is, as long as the sellers have to get through this to get to me, I'm safe. If they get through this, the odds are they're going to hammer on down because this is the biggest wall. Now, sometimes they hit this, get through this one and hold, and that'll happen. But in trading, you got to put your stake in the sand somewhere, right? You got to say, okay, what makes sense consistently for me to do, okay? And consistently, I want to be behind the biggest wall I can be behind. I want to stand behind the traders that are trying to hold off, the buyers that are trying to hold off the sellers. And if they do, excuse me. If they do, then I'm just going to keep marching up with them, right? They're going to keep driving the market up. As soon as they weaken and they get broken, then I get taken out of the trade too. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so that's the big wall stop. So that's how that works, okay? All right. So you can choose your own stop there. You can select, again, a percentage, a target if you want. to hit level 1. You can enable the long-term hold function. So if you select if you want to select a different stop, a custom stop, and you want to select let's see here, a level that you want it to take you out in. So say you wanted to give it a 5% range to move, you can set your long term here 5%, and so instead of being a stop, when it hits that 5%, it'll move it into long term if you want to do that. So you do have that option. Okay, do your quantity, add your order trigger like you do everything else. So let's just go through barrier real time. I'm going to do I'll do the aggressive. I'm not going to do a percentage. I'm not going to do long term. I'm going to hit my number here, see what my minimum is. It's 2. I'm going to set it at 4 here, and I'm going to hit add trigger. We are this week going to begin to up the limit on the amount per trade, okay? Right now I want to get everybody into the percentile and see what Binance is going to do to us as we fire more orders, because the percentile trade is going to take more orders, I believe. And so we're going to fire more orders, so I need to see what Binance is going to do. Once we know that, then we'll up that. We are, not to digress too much, the other exchange that we met with the guys that are helping us overseas to get another very, very large exchange. We do have the API working with that, and we're testing that, so we are making progress in moving that direction. So we'll keep you guys up on that. All I do is add order trigger now. I have all my settings. And if I go over here to buy, order listing, and I go to my parent trade, there it is. There's my quantum percentile barrier level 1, quantity 4, added 10 seconds ago. So for you guys that only want Digi to trade for you, you're done. That's all you have to do is go through and set up each coin, okay? And Digi will absolutely take it from there. So that is it, guys, for the setting up of the percentile trigger, okay? So what I need to do now is, and Jan, are you there, buddy?
Sure am.
What would be the easiest way for us to get a list of traders' names? And guys, when I say your trader name, some people have, you go by the name Kathy, but in your trader account it's Kathleen, or it's, some other name. So I need your trader name, right? Whatever name your account is in. So how would be the best way for us to get a list of everybody that wants to go live this morning or test the barrier percentile trigger? What would work easiest?
I think that I should set up a Google form and have everybody submit their request through there.
Could you could you do that and post it? How long does it take you to set that up, buddy?
In theory, depending on how long you're on this call, I could probably have it set up before the call ends. Okay.
Why don't you try to do that? And if not, then we'll post it in the Digi Live chat.
Yeah, and what I can also do is request that they submit their DigieBot username, which they can they know because that's what they use to log in.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, both names would be super helpful. And then what I want to do, guys, is if Jan can do that, I want to get that to the programmers in about 20 minutes or so. So as soon as we can post that, you guys can go on and put your names on it, and then I'll get it to the programmers, and then we should have everybody in the percentile by noon. They have to go in and add each one of you guys. So we should have everybody by noon. So give me a 1 if everybody understands that. Okay. So we got a little work ahead of us today. The programmers have got a little work ahead of them. So awesome. Awesome. All right. So what do you guys think so far? You guys pretty pumped?
So exciting. So incredibly exciting. Real quick, Crystal, I think, asked the question. Or no, somebody asked the question just in the chat. I'm confused. What trader name? If you have a DigieBot account, it's when you log into DigieBot, look on the right-hand side of your screen, and it's going to give you a username, and then it's actually going to give you your name that you entered your account under. My username is I don't know, Abundant Deb or something like that, and I only see it when I log in.
Yeah, and see this one here, guys. I went up here. I hit edit my profile. My first name here is Doug T8. Doug T8. My user here is DDDT8 for this test account.
Yeah, and you might go ahead and have them add their email address to the form as well, just in case somebody gets confused on that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
definitely do first name, last name, email, and username, but we won't go beyond that because we don't want you to spend all day on the form.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to try to get that.
I have a question about the coins, Doug. All the different coins that you have shared that have done a good test for the new trigger. What about people using those coins on the original trigger? Is that going to cause a problem if they start switching back to barrier and using some of these coins?
No. They can use it both. Now the barrier trigger is set on hard numbers, not percentile.
Okay.
I apologize this morning, guys. I haven't had this problem in a while. Hang on one second. Okay, so the barrier trigger is set up on hard numbers, and it works really well. And they can absolutely test both ways. The percentile, I think over time, will probably become more accurate. As you can see, it has a higher percentage of wins so far. But that's because it's really flowing with the market. So where the hard barrier trigger doesn't quite flow the same way. But both of them are still very well. And I think over time we'll probably do the regular barrier trigger a little bit different than what it is right now also.
Have we had any problems with trades not being able to close through Binance lately?
No, but we're going to start firing more trades, and that's my concern right now. So we're upping our game a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
And we'll still lay the limit at, was it 5 or 6?
Yeah. So the current limit is still the limit, but that'll raise this week if we see that we're not having problems at Binance. I'm going to raise it some. I'm going to begin to start bumping it up a little bit at a time, so that until we know that we don't have problems with Binance.
And we have our $50 max per trade limit still?
Yeah, that's going to change this week, though, if everything goes well with Binance. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, great.
At least some. I'm going to start bumping it up probably a little bit every few days, make sure we don't have a problem.
Sounds exciting. I like those numbers you were showing.
They're kind of green, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm looking for some green here.
Is my video showing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that my video?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to see something?
Uh-huh.
Always.
Oh, that's the new app. Oh.
Nice.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Leak.
There'll be a version here.
Your video is really tiny. You could probably make it bigger for us, or maybe that's my screen.
Stop sharing your screen, Doug, and then you'll be the size of, there you go.
There we go. Now we can see it.
So this will be, the new version of this will be available probably sometime this week or next week. But here's the auto orders. You can set up your orders with inside here. Let's see here. Order list. Open orders. I can hit sell now from right here if I wanted. So sold.
Hey, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Since I think you are still host, could you pin your own video? People in the attendees they can't see you.
A little blurry.
They'll be able to see you in the recording because I've got you pinned here.
Yeah, can they see it now?
Yeah, they're saying they can see it now. Thank you.
So here's my open orders. I could sell here. I can go to my parent trades. I can pause or control everything. I can go back to the main menu. I can do a manual order if I want it. From here, I can close out my trades like I showed on the order listings, open orders. If I wanted to close out a trade, I could hit sell now right from my app. So, yeah, I have notifications. So, set up notifications. So, anyways, it's the app is getting really close. The boss and them are doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So,
that's awesome.
And that should be ready probably in the next week or two for everybody. So,
wow, can't wait.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
Pretty cool stuff. We do have some questions in the Q&A if you're ready for those.
I am ready. I'm going to unplug this camera. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Udo asks, do we still set up 2 trades per algorithm with a percentage selected for one and not selected for the second trade?
If you want to, and we set up 3 in some cases where we were testing, a 0.5% exit and a little over a 1, and then a 2% exit, and then an unlimited. So you can do anything you want. So if you normally wanted to trade, let's say you were going to trade 10 coins, right? And the requirement from Binance is 3 coins. So you're well over the limit of the required amount by Binance. You're more than double. You might want to set up half of those coins at a lower target if you want to do that. So like a 1% or 1.5% with a trailing exit or trailing stop, and that'll get more and more intelligent, I think, over the next few weeks too, guys, so that you can set initial targets, and then if it's a running market, excuse me, it'll work at getting you more and more profit. We're also working on the trail buy. So we'll add that to the algorithm so that your entries can also be a little bit better. And we'll educate everybody on how the trail buy works when it's time. I know Tony's already using it. It's an idea that we came up with over a year ago. And I really like the idea, and I think it has some really valid points. So we'll work on that and educate you guys all on that. But you can set up multiple exits if you want, or you can just set up one at 10, and then let it do what it's going to do. So I also want to ultimately get done the scale out on one trade, which it's not doing yet. So if you had one trade that had 10 coins in it and you wanted to scale out a quarter of the coins at a certain level, you could do that and leave the rest of the coins to run or be managed for a longer term trade. So we'll work on those things. Also, those are all things to come down the road.
Excellent. All right. Udo asks, should we eliminate existing trades and set up new ones with the new algorithm, or edit the existing ones and add the new coins?
I would set up new ones, and if you wanted to not use the old ones, I would just pause them. If you wanted to use both, then feel free to do that. But I would set up new trades and then pause the other ones, not delete them, but pause them.
So previously, I don't think we could pause and add more than 6. Has that changed?
Yeah, we'll do that today. So I'll make sure that the programmers get that done today also.
Thank you, Yanni. All right, Doug, when you're ready.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, Mark Schwartz asks, when you go live, will it reset the test trade data or provide a separate log of trade data? Example, all the stats, etc., for the live account.
Say that one more time.
When you go live, so right now you've asked us to set everything up, in the test area and stay in test until Monday. Mm-hmm. When we click that live button, mm-hmm. Will it reset the test trade data or provide a separate log of trade data?
Okay, so can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is just a live test account that I play with. So I can go to buy orders here, order listings, and we're still working on fixing this here, guys. Let's see this 128 sold, okay? 128 trades sold in my live account. If I switch this over to test, okay, see now it's 237. Totally different data. Nothing to do with each other. Test data is test data, live data is live data. They do not mix. Okay?
So on Monday, we would be clicking over to live and we'll re-add the coins and...
No. So all you have to do when you go live is go to your order listing, right? And so if I had it on real-time test, here I would switch it to, right now I'm in test mode, right? I can't go to real-time live.
Oh, right.
So if I go to real-time live and I go select mode, I can go to real-time live now.
Okay.
Okay. Does that help?
So after we press the button to live, we go in there and just make sure that those are set to, or change them to real time.
To real-time live.
We have to select the mode. Okay.
Yep.
So the only thing we have to do is select the mode.
That's correct.
Excellent. I like that.
No, that's not right. You're going to have to select the new trigger and set up a brand new parent trade.
No, they should, if they're in here, if I go in here, go to my order listings.
Right, it's already set up that way.
Well, here, let's go set one up and do it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go in, I'm in test mode. I'm going to go into buy orders. I'm going to do, I haven't done in cash. Okay, so I'll do in cash, percentile, real-time test, big wall stop. Don't worry about that. Here, we're going to set 3,000. Okay, add order trigger. All right, so now, buy orders, order listing, parent trades. Here's my in cash. Okay. So now I'm going to, and if it's not this way, we will get it this way. Parent orders. So you're right, Lynn. It is not there.
Well, the whole idea I thought was that the data wouldn't transfer over, so you need to set up live again like we did before.
Yeah.
You're setting up brand new data in your live account.
Yeah, I'll fix that though. It should, well, okay, I understand why they're doing it this way. So yeah, if you do that, you are going to have to go back into buy orders. Thank you, Lynn. Add DigiOrder and do another set that will be live, just like you did the trade, the demo one, the paper trade. Okay.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to test, just so everybody is clear, we're going to add our trades in test mode. We're going to play with them until Monday. On Monday, we're going to get the green light to switch over to live. And when you do that, you're going to do the exact same thing that you did when you set it up in test.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Miss Lynn.
Sure. I knew one answer.
And it was a good one. Saved everybody a bunch of consternation there. Okay, what else? Is that it on the questions?
No, sorry. I just stood up and walked across the room, and I guess I forgot what I was doing. All right.
Guys, I get.
Oh, wow. Squirrel. Okay. Let's see. Lou says, Doug, since you're not totally confident on POE, can we cancel the parent trade and set up one of the other coins on Monday?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. You can pause it, cancel it. Yep.
All right. Richie Rich says, for those of us that still have open trades, XRP that have been hanging out in the negative, is LTH available yet, or do we just cut our losses and move on?
No, you can put them in long-term hold. We'll be adding to the functionality of long-term hold, guys. It doesn't have all of the management that I want in it yet, but it will definitely hold the coin, and you can set up a target profit in it if you want, and it'll hold that coin for you. So, but yeah, I want a lot more advanced options in terms of coin management in long-term hold. But right now we have our plate full with trying to get other stuff done, so that will come.
Excellent. Rhonda says, what about the barrier percentile triggers that we mistakenly put in LTH? Should she leave it?
Yep. Just yeah, leave them in there. That's fine. Just set a target in there if you want, and it'll manage it for now. So it should, at least.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know what LTH is, we haven't had any, I don't think you've given a formal training on it, have you, Doug?
No, because I don't have it done yet.
Right, okay, so I just want to make sure if you feel like you've missed something, you haven't. It's just if you're in the Skype group, we've talked about it a little bit because the button appeared. And when buttons appear, some people press them.
Actually, Doug did a really nice training either last Monday or the Monday before that's in the what is our room, or the Telegram room, and you went over the long-term hold quite effectively, I thought.
Yeah, it's just really basic still. It doesn't have all the functionality. So when it does, I'll really, because I really want to develop some really really cool stuff for the long-term trade. You know, to give you guys an idea where I'm going with it. You know, right now it's really, really simple and basic, right? So you could just go in and click on it and kind of figure out what it does, because it doesn't do that much. But ultimately, us say we have, let's just say these are, here, let me do this. Let's do it this way. Let's say we have a group of Tron trades here that are in long-term hold. Okay, Digi will know, you know, what the profit is for each one of these. Okay, and ultimately, I want to be able to say, for Digi to be able to look at these in terms of a kind of a block, in multiple ways here. I want Digi, so I say these are my lower trades that I got in, and they are the highest profit. And this is my least profit, or maybe even negative, right? Or maybe these two are negative, right? But let's say I want Digi to manage my block of Tron trades here a certain way. If, and I want to have, if this group here gets 100% in profit, close the three of them, okay, as a group, okay? So this one may be 125, this one may be 100, and this one may be 75, but the three together are 100% in profit. I want all three of them closed, okay? Or any combination of any of these that get 100% in profit, close them, right? Or I can look at it as a block, the whole thing. If the whole thing ever gets, let's say, 150% in profit, okay, long term, close the whole thing. Or I may really believe in the coin and want to hold the coin, and I believe someday that they may get 550% in profit, because to get back up to where the market was a year ago would mean a 500% move. So, and what I'm looking at is things like this, right? And this is the long-term hold concept. Trading down. Oh, I should just get in regular Google. Hang on. I'm in. Oh, you know they're going to do that to me. Hang on one second, guys. I got to get this set up. Hang on.
Hey, Doug, while you're doing that real quick, I just want to make sure I'm right in answering this question. Mark asks, since the live and test modes are independent, do the live account trades continue to operate in the background when you switch to test mode? The answer is yes, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yep, you betcha.
And the same goes the other way. I'm looking at my test account now, and I don't know what I've got set up in there, but Digi's going crazy. I've got all kinds of green in my test account, and I'm wondering, I need to, whatever I'm doing there, I need to push it over to the live account. Anyway, I'm going to research that and see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so here's in cash, guys. So in cash is definitely, if we were trading in cash, it could go lower because it's already broken its low, right? So it could go lower, but it's definitely finding a floor here. So if I believed that in cash had any possibility of coming back up even into the level that it broke below right here, you know, if I looked at this level right here, I thought, okay, well, it may not get back up to its top, or, you know, whatever this crazy thing was up here, okay? It may not get back up into there, but I'm thinking, okay, it has potential to move up to different levels, and I could target, you know, the different levels, right? I could say, you know, if I hit this level, I may want to take so much out. If I hit this level, I may want to take so much out, and I may, if I really believed in the coin long term, maybe I want to leave a little bit for the bigger ultimate move, right? But this here is a 489% move, okay? Back to here. To here, we're at a 735% move. And if we ever got back up to here, we're at 1,000% move, right? So when I look at long-term hold, you know, to me, I'm accumulating an asset, and I may want to hold that asset for longer to make bigger moves, right? That is one concept of longer-term hold. Another concept of longer-term hold is I believe that the market will fluctuate up and down within a range, right? Let's call it the Tony Hall effect. How's that, Deb? Like that one, Tony Hall effect? No? Okay. All right. So I love Tony.
Couldn't get to my mute. What I was saying was it's the Tony D. Hall effect.
Tony D. Hall effect. Thank you. Yes. But I believe the market's going to range within a certain level, right? And so instead of taking a 5% hit or a 2% hit, you know, I think it has potential to make a 15 to 20% move sometime, or even maybe, you know, something like that. So it has this range, and I'm not currently at the top. If I'm looking at this range here in cash, I'm not sitting here with my entry. If my entry was anywhere down around here, you know, so if I got in, let's say I got in here at this. Well, this has an 8% to the bottom. Maybe it goes a little deeper, 10, 15%, but I don't want to take that stop, right? Because I believe in this range. I believe we're in a range. Okay, and if I believe that, then maybe I want to then set my target somewhere around 8%, right? So it didn't take off when I first got in. It actually went down. So if we were actually looking at this move, so instead of taking a 5% stop out here, only for the market to go a couple points below it and then turn and run for 19%, I say, okay, I'll just take the longer term hold and I'll set my target and I'll look at my chart. So I set a reasonable target, and maybe I set a 7% target for that long-term hold, and that's all I want out of it. And I'm not really wanting to make the 500% move, right, or the 50% move, because I don't think we're ready to do that yet because we're still tight. We haven't shown any indication that we're going to close above this. Maybe once we start closing above this and pulling back, then maybe I start holding those for really longer term moves, right? Because I'm starting to show some expansion to the upside. Okay, so this is really trader stuff. If you want Digi to just trade it, let him trade it, right? If you want to get more advanced, this is what we're talking about here. Okay, so if you don't want to do this stuff, don't get freaked out. Just let Digi do his thing, right? If you want to get more advanced and take more hands-on, then that's what this is about, okay? How's that?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And that recording is on the Telegram from last Monday, January 21st, where you went pretty much in depth on the long-term hold. So if anybody wants more in-depth training, they can go back and watch that recording.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. You know what? I wasn't on that training, so now I realize that I've missed something, not the rest of the community.
I'm not even sure I was on that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget how in depth I go and don't go. So thank you, Lynn.
Awesome. Okay. Ken Todd says, I still have 2 XRP trades over a week old that I can't close. You can't close. If it's a support issue, Ken, be sure to send a ticket to support@digibot.com and let them know that you're having trouble with something you're trying to close that won't close. That sounds like a support issue. If you wanted to hold them because they're in the negative, you can press the button that says LTH, and it'll hold them until you're ready to let those go.
Yeah. So do they have an error on them?
That's what I don't know.
Yeah. So
couldn't close them.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand I can't close them when they're in the negative. If physically, like mentally, I can't press the button.
We have Mary used to run a therapy class for that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we were doing the 4X training, her and Dr. Josie, would do the Friday before Brendan and I started teaching, the Saturday and Sunday. And we would do these in groups, right? So we'd travel all around and had traders. So they would run a psychology class the day before. If people had a hard time exiting, had a hard time taking stop losses, had a hard time manning with trades because they would get freaked out or paranoid or all those things. That class became very full.
I can imagine.
Yeah, Doug, I think we have more people in that class than in the actual seminar.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Turned into almost a full-time practice.
That's it. Yeah, it was amazing. You know, Mary would have them draw pictures about things, and then you know, she would have them use their subconscious mind to draw with. They would do left-handed drawing if they were right-handed and stuff. Then she would have them tell them what the drawing meant, and you can't believe. Well, my parents taught me that money is the root of all evil, and you know all of these things. And you go, well, you're trading money, and you think it's the root of all evil, and no wonder you can't you can't stay with the trade. You know, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow.
So, anyways,
well, luckily Digi does it for us, so we don't have to have that here, though. My work is pretty good for helping people get back on their, right mindset.
Yeah, and that's what Brendan used to say all the time, and he still says it, right? He said it the other day. You know, there's times where a manual trader will out-trade an algorithm. They'll get more profit and stuff like that, but over time, I think you said, buddy, you believe that an algorithm can out-trade a manual trader because it will trade consistently.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it doesn't have emotions, and that's the it's very it's a very it's an ongoing process to manage. Like people who are full-time traders, they have to literally manage their emotions. They go through these processes daily, so that they don't basically don't. I'm gonna simplify it so they don't mess up real big, right? Because a lot of times traders that they could be really good traders, and the problem is they mess up really big once or twice, right? They don't. It's not that they're messing up every day. It's they have a meltdown sort of, and they blow up.
Yeah.
So that's really hard for the average person who's not trained or training that way to do it.
Yeah, Mr. Ken Todd wouldn't know anything about that, would he?
Did we have an agreement, Brendan, that we were supposed to sign when we used
Yes. So before I turn on their lives, they'll have today until Monday to get that agreement in. And I think, Brendan, did you get that to Jan yesterday?
I thought you told me you got that to Jan yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll get that to Jan today.
We'll get that to Jan today.
There you go, Jan.
So, and then he'll get that out to everybody, and then we'll need to get those back, and we'll be able to turn the live on.
So I'm planning on doing that in one shot in the Google form.
Okay.
So I'll get that as soon as you can get that document to me. I'll add it to the Google form and give them an upload field for that form, and you'll have everything in one place.
Perfect. Brendan, can you send that to him?
Sure thing.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Okay.
John.
Awesome. And Marjorie, so that's the form you're talking about. It'll be coming from Jan soon. He's either going to post the link in here or on the DigiLive Skype group. And I assume you might send that out through email as well, Jan?
Telegram, Skype, and email.
Skype and email. Okay, so you're not going to miss it, I promise. Excellent. Mark Schwartz asks, what are the hard limits? What are the hard limits? Are the total number of orders, coins, open trade value, etc.?
So right now it is, I think it was 5 open trades, $50 per trade, 5, whatever that limit was. I'm going to open up the number of trades, probably from 5 to 10, so that you guys can have 10 open trades. So I'll have the programmers do that today. Still the limit will be the 50, and I will begin to up that. If everything works out with finance, we'll begin to open that up sometime this week.
You know where my hands are right now, and I'm doing that squiggly thing because we just got to keep it on that high vibration that it all goes well with finance.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, guys, we are working on another exchange that we have already personally talked to the owners. So we're in at the highest level possible. So it will go well with them.
Excellent. So, love that.
Okay.
All right. So Michelle says this, and I too am having this trouble. I was able to toggle to test and then toggle back to live, and now I can't get back to test. So he's saying my account will not toggle between test and live. I must log out of test to get back into live. Has this always been this way? And is this how it's supposed to be, Doug?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So test. Okay. Live. Test.
Well, don't you have all the special buttons?
Live.
Yeah, for some reason it's not working for me in Chrome. Let's see. I just logged in.
And refresh. Just hit refresh up here and see.
Okay. Well, I logged out and back in, and now. I was able to do this before. After let's see. Now I went to buy orders in test mode. And when I try to click back to live, it's not going for me until I log out.
Okay, so we're in buy orders here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, see here? I'm in buy orders.
Uh-huh.
If I go to the dashboard.
Oh, sure. It just wants you to be on the dashboard. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Michelle, thank you for
anything but buy orders. Instead of, if you're in where we're actually managing the trades, it's not going to allow you to shift back and forth.
Right. It wouldn't make sense to now that the data's
If you're in anywhere else, you should be okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Michelle, for asking that. Awesome. All right. Stephen Lance says, will we be able to make great returns with Digi only auto trading? Sounds like we need to get advanced training and expertise. Will we only be...
We just said that we believe that an algorithm trading system will outperform a manual trading system. Yes. That's what we believe. There's no guarantees, but we believe over time that the emotions of a trader will what's the right word? Sabotage their trading. That's what we've actually personally seen by teaching thousands of people how to trade, that they can't handle their emotions.
Right.
So we believe that an algorithmic system will be better than a manual system, but there is times where you may want to have advanced training and step in and play and override things and make different choices. And that's what Digi allows you to do.
I love that. I love that Digi can be set it and forget it. But if you wanted to go in and add a manual order, when we first went live with Digi, I was still in Coinbase. I mean, not Coinbase, I was still in Binance. And I put in some of my own trades over there. And then I discovered that we can do our own manual trading in Digi, and wow, it's very cool. If you want to, and the great news is you don't have to do that. You don't have to know how to do that. But if you wanted to try some of the training that you received from Doug, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to learn, right? And you guys hang in here long enough, you'll know more than 99% of the rest of the world out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Jersey Joe.
I love Marty. I sell too quick. Oh, it's in green. I'm going to close it. Yes. That's what we all do, Marty.
Right. All right. Jersey Joe says, I have an XRP that I just put in LTH by clicking the button. Now, do I have to go in and edit where I want it to get out? And he's saying, how do I do that? I'm assuming your Monday training covered that, or no?
Yeah, so long-term hold here. So this is one that I put in a long, long time ago. You can see it's 50% negative, right?
Oh.
And this is what a long-term hold can do. This is the warning, guys, right? Here's what a long-term hold can do. So I can go in here and set my sell profit at, right now 25%, or I can change this number to what I want it to be. I can set up trail stops. So you can go in and do this right now. And again, it's very basic. This will get more advanced in its interface and how it's done. But I could set that up, update the order, and it would then track that until it was 25% in profit, and then it would sell it. Okay.
Now, for a long-term hold, if you pop it over there and do nothing, it's just going to stay there, correct?
Well, it's going to track it based on its initial, should track it based on its initial algorithm. We haven't seen it do that yet.
Okay.
But that in theory,
that's
again, long-term hold is new, guys. In theory, that's what it should do. Okay.
So if you had it set up for a 2% profit, then it's going to sit in long-term hold, and when it gets back to a 2% profit, it's going to go ahead and sell.
That's right. Yeah. So it's kind of silly to take a 50% ride down for a 2% profit.
Right. Well, sure.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make a
but each to his own. I'm okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Oh my gosh,
Doug,
I'm more excited.
Yes, Deborah.
Yeah.
Doug, do we need a physical signature on this particular agreement, or is this something that we could use a checkbox for?
I'd like to have their signature if we could.
It's a signature. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not systematic, right? So you're going to have to sign it.
I don't know what you mean by systematic, but yeah, basically legally, I'm wondering, do we need a signature, or can they check a box saying that they read it? But it sounds to me like Doug wants a signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, unless we can systematically, and we've done that. Like, for instance, the Cool Pledge, right? You do that systematic check boxes, and it's captured digitally. This is an actual document.
Yeah, Jan could set it up with a checkbox, I think, right, Jan?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So as long as we had who was checking the box, though.
They enter their email before they complete the form.
Yeah. So if you can set it up with a checkbox and it comes back and they don't have to scan it and all of that, or if you want them to type in their name and then check the box, they could do that too. So.
Okay, I'll see what capabilities I have.
Okay. Either way is fine.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Linda. Linda asks, we do a paper for each digi, but what if 2 digis are in my name, please? Do we still do papers for each one?
You mean sign the agreement? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because, give us the trade name for each account, please.
Excellent. And Tony's in here just as Tony Hall, too. I don't know who this guy is. It's an imposter.
Who's Tony Hall?
I don't know. But
I know Tony D. Hall.
Whoever this imposter says, are you going to add the ability to add a buy trail and sell trail in parent setup?
Yep.
Yep.
You
know it.
Yeah, that was always the intention, Tony. That's why we originally designed it to do a trail buy, which I had never seen before. We kind of did that. I don't ever remember seeing any other platform that allows us to do a trail buy that way. So, we designed it that way, and we'll eventually add that to the parent order.
Awesome. Brilliant, as always. Amazing Davey asks, can you touch on how to and when to pay trading fees to Digi?
We haven't even turned that on yet. When I get ready to turn that on, I'll go over all of that. But right now there is none. It's all free for you guys to trade. So when I get ready to turn that on, we'll go over that. I don't want to confuse people yet.
Awesome.
If I start talking about that, they'll all get panicked and think, "Oh my gosh, where is it? I got to do it," and they'll get confused. So
thank you for holding off on that. That's brilliant. Udo says, can we share this with everyone? I haven't opened it up yet, Doug. I'm going to put it into your Skype. It's how to avoid Coinbase and Bitcoin exchange fees. So I'm going to pop it into your Skype and maybe Brendan's Skype, and you guys can review it and decide how.
Yeah, thanks, Udo. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Udo. And Tony D. Hall says he fixed his Skype name for me. Thank you, Tony. I refuse to talk to him in there if he's not.
Yeah, it's like, God, who is this guy?
All right. Jeff Gardner says, can you touch on future of Kula International and things to come? Ooh, look at Mr. Dropped.
Well, I hate to go really into detail on Kula International without Mr. Gantner on the call too, but we are moving forward on Kula International, guys. It's actually our lawyers in LA that introduced us to the guys that work with the UN, who ultimately introduced us to the, second largest brokerage in the world, and is introducing us to other brokerages that will allow us to trade real trades where we can set real limit orders, move limit orders, and do OCO trades and all kinds of more advanced stuff for Digi, that Digi's hands are really tied right now with Binance. So as soon as we can do those things, the gloves kind of come off, and Digi will be able to do a lot of stuff that it can't do right now. But so we're moving forward on that, and I think I don't know the time frames or anything. I know we've begun corporation setups and things like that, and so I know we're moving forward on it. It is a very, very, very expensive proposition, and but it's going very well. So
awesome sauce. Ferry Mills says, so is it okay that we haven't made our last payment yet?
You'll need to get together with Don. Yes, it's okay still, but you need to get that in and kind of give us a time frame, because when we open it up for unlimited trading, unlimited within the boundaries of Binance, but when we open up the floodgates, so to speak, where you can trade larger trades and your choice type of deal, then that last payment will definitely need to be made by then.
So, Doug, the final payment has not been made payable yet, just FYI.
Yeah. We're waiting.
Yeah.
All right. And good. I'm glad you said that. I wasn't sure if I missed the memo where they got that working yet.
Yeah, no, everybody should be paid through the third payment, right?
Yes.
That's right. And if they could send, if they have any issues or questions about that or whatever, just don't email me directly. If they could email support@DigieBot, that's where we're kind of tracking all of that stuff. So that would be super helpful.
Yeah, or I'll put Don's home phone number here in the chat. No.
They kind of already have it. I get calls all the time, so it won't matter.
There's no privacy.
There's no privacy.
No.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody that it's not payable just yet, but it will be very shortly, and we'll let everybody know when that happens.
Yeah.
By email.
Awesome. Tony D. Hall wanted me to remind everybody that the new algorithm is for the 1-year subscriptions only for now, because likely on here there may be somebody who signed up initially for a 1-month subscription. If that's you, please hold off on signing the paperwork and getting started. Is that correct, Doug?
Well, the long-term hold becomes a problem, right? So if you did a 1 month and you're in a percentile trade, what we'll do is we'll shut it off where you can't take any additional trades, but it'll continue to manage those trades that you're in. I won't shut those off.
Okay.
So I won't leave anybody hanging. So
well, we haven't invited the 1 month subscribers to set up DigieBot at all yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But some of them have, and that's okay. But
don't say that.
Yeah, well, it's just I'm not going to spank them here. It's okay. I understand, but we will begin to open it up to the monthlies here real soon, guys. We're really ready to turn this thing on for real. So
awesome. Hey, Jan, will you please share the Digi Live Skype group into the chat for Michelle Hoffman, please?
I will. I'll list both the Skype group and the Telegram group and instructions to join them.
Because you're a rock star, that's why. Awesome, thank you. And then the last question we have is from Stephen Lance, and he says, when might we see the public site to sign up new members?
After we do the next round inside Kula, guys, where we bring on some of the new Kula members who are wanting Digi. Once I get them onboarded, then we'll open up to the rest of the world. So the next group, though, that comes into Digi through the sales pool, through Kula, right, will actually be, we'll pay out affiliate commissions and everything on those people. So we'll finally be in a position where we're paying out commissions and things. So you guys can look forward to that. Okay.
Excellent.
So real quick, that list. Yeah.
Real quick, Mark slipped one in. He said, would you kindly provide the info for signing the first document? Oh, sorry, Mark, what I meant to say is please send a message to support@digibot.com and Jan will get you what you need. Also, make sure you're in the Telegram chat because in there it's just updates. There's no conversation, so you can get quickly to anything you need, Mark. And we love you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jan, if you can get that form to me and I can get it to the programmers, then it'll take them guys some time today to open up the maximum trades. I think they can get that part done today. If they don't get that part done today and it's blocking you on trades, then you might want to pause your other trades if you want to trade this one. And if you have open trades that are in the barrier trade and you pause it, it will still manage those trades, okay? It's not going to abandon those trades. So it'll still manage those trades. So I don't know which part of the programming staff is still there. I know a boss has left to go home for his birthday. So, and I appreciate all of you guys wishing him a happy birthday today. I tell you, that man works extremely hard for us. And we're very, very lucky to have him in our lives. And he's done a great job with everything that he's doing. So he's very conscientious about Digi, guys. He loves Digi. So he's working really hard to make Digi as best that it can be for us. So he's done a great job. All right. How did we do, guys? Everybody happy? Did we hit the ball?
I'm extremely happy.
Oh my goodness, right? I'm so excited.
So blessed, Doug. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Brendan.
I'm excited to see the barrier percentile trigger coming back. That was kind of fun for a few minutes there.
Yeah, it was.
all you button pushers.
Well, you're such a tease, right? It's like, oh, look, I have it.
Yeah, guys. And I'll warn everybody again. It's your game, right? It's your choice. You know, we're programming so fast. We're coming out with something new all the time. If I haven't talked about it, it may not be safe to do. Just a heads up. If I haven't talked about it yet, it may not be safe to do. So if it shows up, it doesn't mean necessarily to press the button. But I love you guys anyways. So, you know, it's your choice.
Please ask the programmers to stop making the buttons so shiny.
Right?
That's right. They're like fishing lures, aren't they? You guys are like the little perch in the creek.
Just wait.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that cracks me up. You guys are so fun. Yeah. What a group. You know, what a great group we have. So, and guys, I tell you, I'm really happy where we're at. And, you know, people will tell you this about me. I have a tendency to be a perfectionist, but I'm not trying to be a perfectionist here. But we still have room to really improve and make this better. So I'm not at the point where I'm really splitting hairs yet, you know. But I think there's big chunks of improvement that we can do, and I think it'll get better and better. So that still, you know, even as good as we are now, it makes me really excited to know what I see and how much better we can actually make it. So it's a good, I think it's a good future ahead of us, folks. I really do. I believe it's really exciting. And what's really cool to me, and I probably have said this, the new exchange that we're on, being the second largest crypto exchange in the world, is also the second largest future exchange. And we will eventually port Digi over to the futures market where, you know, the crypto market is like, I don't know, it's like trading in an old 1957 Volkswagen, right? It moves so slow. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, are we going to get a trade and is it going to close? Oh, 5 days later it closes, right? In the futures market, that's right. It'll open and close in 30 seconds, right? You'll get whiplash trying to watch it, right? It happens so fast. So I think eventually we'll be in the futures market with Digi. I think most of the tools, with some tweaking, will port over to the futures market and allow us to do that. The other exciting thing in terms of the affiliate side, right? Crypto has really a limited liquidity. It's really, you know, it's not very much when you look at worldwide trading, right? It's not a huge market. It is growing, but it's still not a huge market. Futures market, oh my gosh, guys. If we can do 5,000 or 10,000 traders in crypto with Digi in the crypto market, right? 5,000, 10,000 traders. We can do 50,000 or 100,000 traders in the futures market with no problem.
Holy cat.
And want to start talking about some affiliate commissions when we get to that point?
Ooh.
Yeah, there's going to be some serious money once we get into the futures too. So we'll get there. It's ways down the road. But the broker that we're with is super excited about what we're doing and where we're going. So they're really looking for some top traders. And this is one of the things they said. They have a hard time finding traders that really know what they're doing. So when they saw Digi and stuff, they were absolutely blown away and very, very excited about what we're doing. So there's a lot of people that talk about the game out there, but there's very, very few people, guys, that really know how to play the game. And it's not an easy game, right? This is not an easy deal, especially programming it to do what you would do as a human trader. It's very, very hard to program an algorithmic system that has any real consistency. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we are doing. So anyways, hopefully you guys got a lot out of today, and we'll get this turned on. So you'll just have to watch your accounts. I don't know. I'd give the programmers today to try to get everything done. So don't get too excited in the next 30 minutes or so, okay? So give them a little time. I think they'll get it done today, and then everybody should be good. So, okay?
Just a quick reminder to everybody, we do not have any marketing materials for DigieBot as of yet because we're not marketing him as of yet. So there should be never anything on your Facebook walls, on your Twitter accounts, on your Instagram about DigieBot. So please refrain from doing that. It is the only way you will get let go from Digi is if you're out there talking about Digi and talking about numbers and that kind of thing. So please keep it under wraps for now. We will let you know when it's time to start pushing outside of the community. Yeah,
I see Michelle's comment on the Volkswagen here. Yeah, I know. I had a buddy that had a 66 or 67 Volkswagen van, the one with the glass windows. Had a twin turbo Porsche motor in the rear. It would do over 100 miles an hour. At 103, I think, miles an hour, he actually got airborne with the thing. So, wow. Yes, some people do those things. Yes.
I think I've seen that on Scooby-Doo.
Oh, man. Yeah, this guy is crazy, man.
That's awesome.
A Volkswagen van doing over 100 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.